Welcome to FaZe Fantasy Live with your host, Lonnie Z.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Lonnie with FaZe Fantasy, and I'm here with my boy Jake Hansen. We are both from the Bay Area, and it's cool. We have a crazy story because we didn't know each other back home, but we met each other where we are now, which is in the state of Arizona, which is kind of crazy. We had to go like 700 miles to meet each other, and now here we are. Jake is an avid fantasy footballer. He loves sports. He loves baseball, football, basketball. He knows what he's talking about. Me and him always razz each other. And so I want to have him on the show. And, I just want to hear what this guy thinks. He knows what he's talking about. So, we have a great show in store for you today. We're going to get into it. We're going to, break down some of the games this weekend, kind of go through them, kind of give our takes on them, what they mean for fantasy football. This show, we're so excited because it's here. The football season is finally here, and we're just excited. Jake, what's up, man? Welcome aboard, man.
What's going on, Lonnie? Glad to start it off.
That's right.
Best time of the year.
It is, right? It's damn the best time of the year. So hey, Jake, so last night Detroit played KC and we had our first upset of the year, right? I mean, everyone thought, even, we heard that Kelsey was going to be out, and even with them out, we're thinking Mahomes is going to get it done. What'd you think about that game last night, bro?
When you look back at it, I think Detroit's going to be those killers. Like last year, they took out Aaron Rodgers. First game of the year, they upset the champs' first home game. And they're one of those teams you got to watch out for. Feisty.
Yeah.
Young, just like their coach. So their coach got them going, rolling.
Yep, for sure. I thought that the Andy Reid's offense, and I know, Kelsey wasn't there, but damn, if you miss, if Kelsey's out and you're going to play like this all year, what are they going to be like 0-17? You know what I'm saying? I know that's not going to happen, but Reid's offense didn't look the same last night, did it? It looked funky.
Did not. No, did not. It seemed like you're watching a team that had a lot of rookies, but the rookies looked better than the veterans. And then that's not a norm with Andy Reid's team. They're usually ready to go, and it just seemed like some of the guys weren't clicking.
Exactly.
At all. And Andy Reid, maybe he wasn't ready with Kelsey out, because they didn't know until the last couple hours. So maybe he wasn't ready for that. You think he should have, but
Yeah, I agree. And Mahomes was Mahomes. He was dropping dimes, and his receivers were dropping balls. That's only the third pick six in his career. I mean, that was crazy. And for a rookie to get that, that lion, that now he's got that feather in his cap. I took Mahomes to the house on a pick six. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it looked like the Chiefs would pull it out. I thought Rashee Rice looked good last night. Of all of them, I thought Rashee Rice, the rookie, like you were saying, their rookies looked a little better than their vets. MSV, MVS, I mean, he looked good. He's always he's going to catch at least 1 to maybe 5. That's out the high, and it's always going to be like a 20-yard, reception. But he looked good last night. But other than that, man, and Noah Gray and their tight ends, they did all right.
Yeah, they did. It's like they had the game plan for tight ends, but not for receivers, because their tight ends did the best out of the whole team. Honestly, that both of them, Noah Gray and Blake Bell, they had the most receptions out of the whole offense.
Yeah.
So when you look back, it's like they planned for Kelsey, but not the receivers. Kelsey not there. They had they had 2 tight ends that picked up the slack.
Yeah, they did. I agree 100%. I was just kind of tripping a little bit because Sky Moore You know me. I'm a big Sky Moore fan, and everyone's telling. I was getting texts during the game. Sky Moore sucks. Blah blah. You're probably one of them. Were thinking about hitting me up. Hey, Lottie, because I told you,
No, you know what?
don't sleep on
Yeah,
Sky. Sky was asleep.
but it seemed like the Chiefs. It seemed like the Chiefs did what me and you are doing right now. It seems like they did trial and error during the first game of the season.
Right.
It's like they didn't know what running back they wanted to use. They didn't know what receiver they wanted to be the main for Mahomes. It's like they didn't. You're 100% right. Andy Reid was not Andy Reid last night. Not at all.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. And then on the flip side, you saw a Lions team that looked kind of hungry. Jared Goff at first, the first couple of series, he was kind of like he looked a little off. I'm thinking, okay, there's the old
Yep.
Jared Goff, but then he
Mm-hmm.
snapped out of it. Him and St. Brown, and I loved what Jahmyr Gibbs was doing. I think they should have featured him a little more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. More screen passes. They stopped it after the second half. And, I know they want to get Montgomery in and stuff. But, they had something clicking there. So, but
Yeah. Yeah. So, all in
yeah,
all, it was a good game though. It was a
good
very
game.
entertaining game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I was surprised. They unveil, their banner, and
Mm-hmm.
then you see Jones sitting there, and
In the suite.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the suite, instead of down there with his boys. But I get
Yeah.
it, and they all get it. They're like, this is business first. This
Yeah.
man needs to get paid, and so I can't. I'm not mad at him for that, but it was just kind of
Mm-hmm.
funny. I bet you he was kicking himself, just wanting to get out there. But business is
Mm-hmm.
business. But I liked what I saw from the Lions. I like their, they've always come with the two running back approach, and I think they got their two running backs again.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Montgomery looked good too.
Montgomery looked really good. And that was the difference between two teams. One team, they knew what they had and what they were going to do. Another team, it was like it was up for audition.
Right?
Like the whole team, the whole offense, other than Mahomes, of course. But it just seemed like they were, okay, we'll try this one, this one. Nothing seemed like they knew who was going to be the main person, other than Kelsey, but he was hurt.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't know for sure, that's what it seemed like
Yep. I
big time.
agree. I agree 100% with that, man. Well, so much for that game, man. The Lions look like if they went on the road again, they were on the road
On the
too. It
road,
wasn't even at the crib, so uh
over 60,000.
right? And those fans are crazy. When they got loud, they were loud, bro. So good for the Lions
Mhm.
and their whole coaching staff. They look like they were really prepared. They just look like the better
Mhm.
prepared team last night, and I'm sure Andy Reid's gonna bounce back and they'll be fine, but KC took it on the chin last night. So
Yeah, they did.
let's get into some slate, the slate for Sunday. The first game on the list is you got the Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, you know, a lot of people are talking about Bijan. He's the big story here and all that. But on the Panther side, you got CJ Stroud, and then Adam Thielen. I think Thielen's out, man. I don't even think Thielen's gonna play. And I think they said, what's the DJ Chark is out. What that's not saying much, but he's out. So Hayden Hurst, what do you think? You think that's a
Yeah,
play?
yeah. Chark's out. Thielen's questionable, but they're saying Hayden Hurst and Mingo, they're going to be 1 and 2.
Yes. Yes,
But
Mingo.
Hurst, yeah, I like Hurst a lot in the red zone. He's a big target, and they're going to. I think Bryce Young is going to depend on him in the red zone for sure. I think Hayden Hurst has a good upside this week.
Oh yeah, I said CJ Stroud, huh? I said Stroud.
Yeah,
It's
Bryce
it's
Young.
Bryce
Yeah,
Young. Bryce
yeah,
Young. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Bryce
yeah.
Young.
I agree, man. I think that because Frank Reich had come out in the offseason and said that they're trying to build this team through the tight end. They want, their
Mm-hmm.
young quarterback to be comfortable. And so they went out and paid, they actually paid a lot of money for Hayden Hurst, bro. It's not like they,
Mm-hmm.
just some chump
No.
change or something like that. I think it's like a $27 million deal or something like that for a few years. So he's getting paid really well. And, I was reading an article with him. and he said that he's really excited. He said for the first time in his career, he's finally going to get all the opportunity that he has been looking for. And so when you like to hear those kind of things, Hayden Hurst is only $5,000 on FanDuel this week,
Yeah.
bro. At the tight end slot, if you want to build your team and save some money, that's a
Mm-hmm.
great value right there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
he's one that's everybody's looking at for sure.
yeah, for sure. And then on Atlanta, on the flip side, man, there's a lot of questions about Atlanta, bro. I mean, I know you're not a big Bijan guy. I mean, I know you like him, but you're like, I can't take
No,
him in the first round, right?
yeah, but there's a lot of firepower over there, and how they going to use it? That's the thing. How are they going to use the fire? How are they going to use it with the pretty much rookie quarterback? You
Yeah,
know, maybe a couple games last year, but he's pretty much a rookie quarterback still, and they have a lot of firepower. They have 3 running backs that could
yeah,
easily start on any team.
they do. Last year Algier, he ran for over 1,000 yards in his rookie
Mm-hmm.
season, and then they go
Mm-hmm.
draft a running back.
In the
So
first round.
yeah, I think that's kind of the way the NFL's going a little bit, though. The two back,
Mm-hmm.
committee type of deal. I think they're really going to feature Bijan, though. They'll probably feature him. But
Mm-hmm.
I know Algier, he's going to get his. He's going to get in there. He may get some goal line work, too.
Yeah,
He may get a
yeah.
lot of goal line work. But how do you think that okay, so they are at least last season, they were the number one running team. I'm not saying that they had more yards rushing, but they ran the ball more than any other team in the league last year. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
part of their DNA, part of their philosophy. So they're going to be doing that again this year. Went out, got Bijan. They have Algier behind them. I think that should open up, some windows for Drake London, Kyle Pitts. You know what I'm saying? For Ritter, if their running game is solid, that should help Ritter out too. And we may have a big season out of Drake London, and finally a good season out of Kyle Pitts, man. I
Oh,
mean,
Pitts. Yeah.
what do you think about that, bro?
I think the running game is going to start passing, and like they say, running game starts play action. So I think for them to succeed and to take over the South, they have to have Drake and Pitts go off. They have to. They have to have at least 1,000 yards from Drake and at least over 500 from Pitts. They have to. I mean, you can run the ball as much as you want, but you have to pass. You have to pass.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you start doing 8-man in the box. We don't know how Ritter's going to look. You 8-man in the box, you can stop any running back. So
Right. No, I agree. And we just got in, well, we didn't just get done saying that, but uh, you and I have talked before about how there's just a lot of receivers now. I mean, these teams, these NFL teams are really going pass heavy. Even in our drafts and stuff for our redraft leagues that we're both in. Some of the you just had a standard league, which you're old dinosaur. You're an old head, bro. Do they still do standard leagues out there?
I'm in 2 PPRs now, but yeah, there's still standard league because all the
Right,
old folk, man, the old boys, they can't handle all those points.
right,
I'm in with some guys that they just, you know, they're lucky to get on the computer. You know what I mean?
right. Hey, man, that's cool though, man. I love that, bro. I love that.
Oh
But
man,
yeah, freak, man. The NFL is really pass heavy these days. Quarterbacks and
yeah,
receivers,
yeah.
man. And so we'll see what happens in Carolina. They better be able to pass. Ritter better be able to pass, or else they're not going to be very successful. You know what I'm saying?
No,
But
no,
but I think they're going
no.
to do all right this year. I really do, and I don't think
Me too.
their coach really cares about who gets it. I think he just has a plan. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like he's going to use everyone, so he's not worried about us in the fantasy world. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
No, no, exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
All right, so
But that offense could make Ritter a top 15 quarterback easy. That offense, what they have, they can make that guy
I
a
100.
good quarterback.
I agree. 100. What I saw from Ritter last year, I was kind of impressed. I was like, why don't they let Ritter play? Mariota's stinking up the joint, and I like Mariota, bro, but I feel bad. You know what I'm saying? He's stinking
He
up
was
the
chasing his
joint,
own man. He was chasing his own tail, man.
right?
Mariota was trying so hard. You feel bad for the guy. You just watch it like, oh man.
Right?
He's just
So
chasing his own tail. It's just
exactly,
it's
bro.
unreal.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, you have a guy there. It's just but now they have something there. Atlanta has it's something starting. So if he could get it, they could be a good team to stop. I mean, the South is not good at all. Like
No,
Atlanta could make the playoffs with 8 wins. I mean,
that's
they could win
true.
the division with 8 wins. So you know,
Yeah, yeah, that is true. There's really nothing in that division that's going to scare anybody, not at all. You're absolutely right with that. I mean, if any one of them finish over 500, I'm gonna be surprised this year. Maybe the Saints might have a shot at that.
hmm
Depending on how that goes. I think Derek Carr is an upgrade for him because at least he's consistent and he's a gamer. But let's get into Cincinnati and Cleveland. That's going to be a good game, bro. They always battle. I was looking at Prize Picks, and it's funny because Chubb, I got him on a little six leg at 90. I got him over for 90.5 yards or something like that.
hmm
And I noticed today he's dropped down to 78 point something yards. So
really,
yeah, they dropped him, bro. So what do they know that I don't know, bro? I mean, so I expect Chubb to rush for almost 100 yards because there's no more Kareem Hunt. He doesn't really have any competition, and Stefanski, he likes to use his running backs that way to set up the pass, but they could be kind of pass heavy too. Maybe that's what Vegas is
yeah, that's
thinking.
what. Yeah, because Burrow is playing now, so
Hmm.
he just announced he's playing yesterday. So maybe it changed because they know if Cincinnati goes up 14-zip, they're
Yeah,
passing. Watson's passing, so that could be it. But Chubb usually has good games against Cincinnati,
he
and
does.
that's a shocker. There, I didn't think that, but that
Yeah,
game could turn around quick though. Cincinnati could go up pretty quick. Cleveland usually gives them a good game.
yeah. That's a good rivalry. It's a true rivalry. Those they all play. They play each other tough. No matter whose stadium they're at, they're going to play each other tough. I wouldn't be surprised seeing Cleveland come out on top, and I wouldn't be surprised seeing Joe and Jamar and T, and then our boy. We both like Irv Smith, right, as the
Irv Smith
sleeper.
Jr.
You
for
know,
sure.
so that could be it can go either way. I don't see it being a shootout though. It seems like it might be a little more smash mouth than anything, even with all those
Uh,
weapons. You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
I think it's. I think Burrow's going to come out passing. I think he's going to come out spreading the ball quick, just to, just to get his legs back. I think he's going to go at it because that's how he is. But on the Cleveland side, I think Chubb's. I think they're going to run the ball with Chubb more times they try to pass. To be honest, I think I think Cleveland's going to try to smash mouth at first. Whoever has the ball first. If Cleveland has the ball first, I think they're going to smash mouth it.
No,
Run, tie it in.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I don't see, but I think Cincy's going to go for it once they get it.
I agree. Vegas, and FanDuel, they seem to think the same thing. They got Chubb. He's the third highest,
Mm-hmm.
player in the slate, $8,600. So if you
Yeah.
want Nick Chubb on your team, you're gonna have to pay a premium to get him,
Mm-hmm.
and then he better rush for 100 and get in the end zone twice at that price. What I'm saying, you need at least 23 points out of him.
See, that's
at that
yeah.
price.
It seems like a trap for him now. Now that we're seeing different, with his yards and different things, it's like kind of like, well, you think about it, it's kind. You think like our first thought was, oh, Chubb's going to go off.
Yep.
Chubb's going to go off, and then you think about it. Okay, what happens if Burrow does? What happens since he does score 15 on him right up top?
Yeah.
They're going to pass. They're not going to run.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a thought of it, but my first thought is I think Chubb's going to at least get over 75.
Yeah, I
You know,
agree. I agree with that. If he doesn't rush for like 90 something yards, I'm gonna be surprised. You know what I'm
me
saying?
too. Yeah,
Uh, I don't know
me
if he's gonna
too.
hit 100. I kind of expect him to get close to it though, but Jamar Chase is 8,500, which is to be expected, and then T Higgins is 7,400. Which is I know T is real talented, man, and I like T Higgins. Don't get me wrong, I really, really do, and I know he can win a weekend for you. He's got that kind of talent. But last year, man, I don't know, was he hurt a lot, or I know he's kind of banged up, but he didn't seem to have that what everyone was expecting. They almost expect it to be like Tyreek and Waddle, what they did, and maybe his numbers aren't that bad, but I don't know, man. I just feel like T's just a little overrated. Valued too highly. Even in the ADP this year, I thought that. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, what would they call that receiver though? You call Waddle a slot, right? A slot receiver, more of a
Yeah.
slot
Hmm.
receiver. You get the ball at the 5 yard line, or 5 yards out, and boom.
Yeah.
He seems a more possession receiver, but that's how Chase is. Chase goes on the outside, but it's kind of hard to have two receivers that are the same.
Yeah.
You need one that goes inside. And then they have Boyd, and Boyd's kind of playing himself out of Cincinnati,
Hmm.
but it just seems like they're the same player. Like you need something a little bit different. And Higgins had a lot of promise. He's a great player, but I think him and Chase play too similar to. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
they play too similar to shake it up. You need somebody inside, you need somebody outside, and it seems like they're both on the outside.
That could be why you and I kind of feel like Irv Smith could
Mm-hmm.
could be that guy, because
Uh,
we know he's talented. It's just he's always hurt. Finally Minnesota gave up on him last year when they got Hawkinson. Man, I was like, oh, that's it for Irv Smith. You know what I'm saying? I was
yeah.
shocked with that trade. Um, so maybe Irv Smith could kind of help them.
Mm-hmm.
Because now they do both go across the middle and stuff, but you're right. Chase
Yeah.
will do more stuff in the middle of the field and stretch the field. T, it
Mm-hmm.
seems like stretches the field more than
Yeah.
coming across the middle and
Exactly.
that kind of thing. What do you
And
think about?
Chase,
No, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, Chase sometimes he'll just catch it at the line of scrimmage and run, and then he'll make plays too.
Yeah.
But like you said, Higgins just goes straight. He just runs straight.
Yep. Yep. What do you think about Joe Mixon this year? Now, there's a lot of mixed bag on him. What do you think
There's
about
a
him?
lot of there's a lot of there's a lot of baggage. There's a lot of baggage behind Joe again.
Yeah, that off-season
Our
stuff,
boy, our boy lived 10 miles away from it. He grew up 10 miles away from us,
right?
so we know Joe. But he he has to step up this year. This is his year. This is his year to stay with Cincy. To be to He's auditioning for somebody else, or to stick around with Cincy. But this is his year. I mean, if everybody's healthy in Cincy, he has to step up. He did good last year, but he needs to do a little better. Now
Yeah,
he has nobody behind him. He has nobody to spell him. So
right,
it's all him.
right.
It's all him. It's up to you, man.
And you alluded to his contract year, and it seems like the teams in the contract year, they run these boys to the ground, bro. They're like, we're getting
Mm-hmm.
our pennies worth out of you. We're
Mm-hmm.
getting every dollar out of you, because if we decide we're going to sign you, it's going to cost us a lot, or we're just going to let you go and you're going to be damaged goods when you leave,
Yeah.
leave the door.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that about Joe too. I think that he really, this is it. This is it for him in Cincinnati. You're absolutely right. But I expect him to have a big season. I didn't take any Joe in any of my leagues or anything this year, only because he wasn't there when I was picking in that
Mm-hmm.
round, that area that I had in the drafts. But I would have. He was on my list, but I just didn't get him. And they are going against the 27th. Cleveland was ranked 27th against running backs last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much they've changed that, but he should have a lot of opportunity, at least, to make some things happen. Um, and then on the other side, you got Deshaun Watson, you have Cooper, you have Elijah Moore. These guys, um,
Njoku.
Yeah, Njoku. I think Njoku, man, this could be a breakout year for Njoku. Deshaun's going to have to do something. Deshaun, when they traded for him with all that crap he was going through, they knew it was going to be a while before they got him on the field, but they were willing to wait because they see him as their quarterback. Like they think he's still the same Deshaun as he was, before with the Texans. Man, I used to love his game. I forgot
Oh,
about his game, bro. Last year wasn't him, the same guy. What do you think we're gonna see this year? You think he's gonna be back or what?
if he's back to the way he was with Houston, he's better than Lamar Jackson. Easy. He can run
Wow,
and pass.
bro, bro.
If you hey look if you look to see what he did with the Houston team, he didn't have a team like Lamar has. He never had a team like Baltimore. He had a Houston with who?
He had D Hop,
Hopkins.
bro. He
Well, he
had
had
D
D
Hop,
Hop.
but
He had
Lamar's
D Hop,
never
but
had a receiver. Never.
well, he's had tight, but he's had talent around him though. Defense. He
Yes,
wasn't on the. He
yes.
had defense and he had running backs and he had some receivers, but nothing crazy. But the thing is, he was. I mean, he might not be as talented as Lamar with some things, but he could pass
He
way
definitely.
better than Lamar. Like
Yeah,
Lamar don't have a lot of 300 games. D Watson has a lot of 300 games. It's
yeah.
just he just. I mean, he has the talent. I don't see him. You know, I don't see him throwing it away like that. Just all of a sudden can't, unless his head is still full with everything. But you think with a couple years, you think he's good now.
Unless his head is
I,
still at the massage parlor,
yeah, yeah. It depends what head we're talking about.
right?
It's just,
Right.
but no, I think a lot of people are putting their bag on him this year. A lot of people are putting their bag on him. I
Yeah,
can see a lot of like with fantasy and everything. A lot of people like
yeah,
for this weekend. I mean, he's not that much money either, right? I mean, he's pretty in the mid range.
yeah. So Deshaun, he is $7,400, man, and that's actually
Yeah.
affordable at a quarterback position. That's a good, that's a good value, I think. Um,
And you
the
stack him with Cooper. Cooper's not that high either. You stack him and then you get another. You can put a JJ in there.
Yep,
Jefferson on top of Cooper. They're
exactly.
not worth a lot, but they're looking big this week, and a lot of people have hopes for him. And I have hopes for Deshaun. I want to see him back.
I do
He's a
too,
great
man.
player.
Yeah,
Great player.
I do too, and I know everyone's mad at him for that whole deal, but the truth is we weren't there. I don't know all the everything about that, you know,
No.
um, but apparently he's paid his dues, and now he's paid his time or whatever the retribution was that he had to pay for doing that, and now he's back to football, and so I wish him well. I hope he does good. He's got a stacked team, bro. I mean, he finally, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at his Texas days and what he has here, bro, Amari Cooper's good. I mean, he's still good. I'm not going to say he's
Mm-hmm.
an elite receiver anymore, but he's really good. Elijah Moore picking him up, that was a huge deal. And Peoples Jones is getting better every year, I think. In Juku, like we just said, he could have a breakout. So he really has a good team around. And I didn't even mention Chubb, did I? He's got
No,
Chubb. So
that's the thing. Yeah, he has a runner. Yeah, they have a squad to for sure.
they definitely
They have a
do.
team for him. Yeah, they have a team for him to succeed. So now it's all up to him,
Yep.
pretty much.
Let's see what Njuko, man, is $5,600 at the tight
That's
ends.
it.
That's a good bargain right there. If you're
Mm-hmm.
if you're running it through, we should do one of these with the FanDuel too, and go over FanDuel and see what their pricing is for this. For these guys. But this is just, I mean, not FanDuel, DraftKings. I meant DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on FanDuel right now, but yeah. So all right, so Cincinnati, who you got in that game though?
I got Cincinnati.
You got Cincy.
I got Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I got Cincinnati. I think there's just too much. There's too much. I think Cleveland's going to give him a good game, but I think Cincy's on. Uh, like you said, Joe Mixon And I think Joe Burrow, I think he's ready.
Yeah,
I think he's ready.
I agree, man. I think that Joe Burrow and Chase and those boys, they have a chip on their shoulder this year. I don't think they like the way last year ended. You know what I'm saying? So
That was a messed up situation there. So
yeah,
they seem that they feel that they got taken away from them. So
yeah, yeah. So
I think I think they're gonna come out hot.
yeah,
But I'm not gonna take that away from Cleveland though. Cleveland, they're gonna give them a game, and especially but like we said, if Chubb plays the way we think, then I think it's gonna be a tough game for Cincy.
yeah,
If
that's
he
true.
runs them, if he drags them out and just runs over 100 yards, then Burrow's not on the field. So
Yep, yep.
you know,
But I agree with you. I think since he's gonna get it done, when it's all said and done. Okay, we got the Jaguars and the Colts. I mean, you have one team really ascending right now in the NFL, and then you have one team just taking a nosedive, just like from the Jeff Saturday experiment to, now Taylor. He's not even hurt, bro. He's just holding out. You know what I'm saying? So he's on the pup or the IL for the first 4 games. He can't play. That's just a
he's doing
train wreck over there.
it. I mean, you think being a veteran, as he's been in the league for 3 years, but you think being a good running back as he is, he would step up and help, mentor his young quarterback.
Yeah.
That kid has talent.
Yep.
Like everybody's talking about Stroud and Young, but Anthony Richardson he has that secret weapon, man. And,
Yeah.
and he makes big plays, and it seems like I think he's going to be better off than those other two. But when you don't have your veteran running back, that's big. Like you're pretty much letting your team down, man. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But he does have a veteran wide receiver. And now,
Pittman Jr.
Yeah. Pittman, some people say he's soft. I like Pittman, but he's a little soft. I mean, for a receiver. Alec Pierce, we'll see this sophomore year. Let's see what Alec's going to do this year. There's a lot of hype about Pierce last year. And then I like their tight end that they had last year, but the problem was they didn't play him enough. And let me find
Woods.
Yeah, Jelani Woods. Jelani
Yeah.
Woods, bro. He just came in and just was getting stuff done last year, but they didn't play him enough. I mean, this dude's huge. So he has some tools around him, I think, some pieces around him. And with his running ability, I watched a lot of film on him. And he didn't seem to be like a runner like a Mike Vick type or even a Jalen Hurts type, but he just seems to get the yards. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting.
Well, he could be like a Deshaun Watson. Watson don't really, he could use his legs, but he doesn't. That's not his first go-to.
Yeah.
I just seen Jelani Woods is out. He's on the IR, so he is not playing this Sunday.
Oh, is he? So
he's on the IR
for like we don't know how long that is. Is it like at least 4 games, right? A minimum of 4
games. And Michael Pittman Jr. 6,200 on DraftKings. So
wow,
that's not a bad get.
No, that's pretty cheap. That's actually pretty cheap.
Yeah, he's gonna miss. Yeah, Woods is out for 4 games.
4 games. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that dude, man. I like Jelani Woods, man. I think he's a up and coming, star if they just use him, So yeah, then they have Deion Jackson, who's got the start for this weekend. So we'll see what Deion does. Last year, a couple of games, he looked real good. Like if you needed, if you had Taylor and you were able just to pick him up as a handcuff for a couple of weeks, you did all right. But then I saw him later on, and he just didn't look the same. You know what I'm saying? So, and in the preseason, he didn't look very good. But I don't take much stock in the preseason because the personnel is always different and whatever. But yeah, and on the flip side, though, the Jaguars, there's a lot of hype about Peterson's team. and it's deserved. I think. Hey, Lawrence is going to be the guy soon. He's trying to get his name right up there with Burrow and Mahomes and
Mhm.
Allen. He's trying to get up there with those guys. I don't know if he's going to get there this year, but Peterson, he's a good coach, bro.
Yeah,
And he's going
for
to
sure.
scheme them up. I like what I see from Ridley so far. Christian Kirk. They still have Christian Kirk, who was their number one last year.
Yeah,
So now what? They have two number ones. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah. Ingram, tight end Ingram. He's
yep,
a good big. He's a big receiver. Big tight end.
yep,
Yeah, the first thought was this year. Like I think I told you already, but I was like Lawrence. I want Lawrence in all my fantasy. I want him. I
right,
want him. And then you kind of think like, oh, okay, hold on, because he's had games like one game he'll throw for 290, 300. Another game he'll throw for 150. It's like, whoa, you know.
right.
But he is the next. He is the next top 5 quarterback.
Yeah,
One, maybe not this year, but he has the players. He has the receivers now, and I think Calvin Ridley has a lot to prove, and I think he wants to show up this year for sure.
I
He's not
agree.
happy. He's
No,
not happy.
yeah, I agree. At least he's getting a lot of love, a lot of hype. You know what I'm
He is
saying?
getting a lot of love,
He is
big
getting a
time.
lot of hype from Ridley. And then Travis Etienne. So in the offseason, everyone's saying, well, he can't catch out of the backfield and this and that and that. Urban Meyer duped everyone by making everyone believe this guy can catch out of the backfield. But I
Yeah,
don't
they
know
were
if that
talking about
matters
being
that
a
much.
receiver.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. No, I mean, well, they were talking about putting him at receiver if James Robinson never got hurt. So all of a sudden now he can't catch. I
Yeah,
mean, they were saying Etienne's going to be receiver while James Robinson was running back.
yeah,
I mean, I think I think Etienne and Lawrence are going to jump this year. I think it's both their year this year. I think you're going to see a big jump from both of them. Second year under Peterson too.
yeah.
That's big. That's really big.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in that AFC. And bro, their defense is feisty too.
Feisty.
They make big plays. They may give up stuff, but they make timely big plays, turnovers, things like that. So it should be a good year for them, I think. And I just believe, they have Zay Jones. He's the third receiver. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
that's not bad, man. When Zay Jones is your third, he just had a good year
No.
last year. He
Mm-hmm.
he revitalized his whole career. Finally, he did well for himself. I think they're going to blow Indy out. I don't think it's
I
going to
do
be
too. I think
close.
I think they're a good fantasy play. I think Lawrence and Ridley's a good fantasy play for sure.
Yeah, that is
For
a good
sure.
stack. That is a good stack.
Mm-hmm.
So Lawrence on FanDuel is $8,000, and then Ridley is let's see, where is he at? He's that far down. He's 7,000. So that's kind of you'd really have to build your whole team around them too. If
Yeah,
you're
for
gonna
sure.
if you're gonna buy those two guys.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. On DraftKings, Ridley 65 and Lawrence is 65.
oh, see
So
that
you could actually get both of those plus probably one of the highest running backs and receivers for sure.
right, right.
On DraftKings, you can.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, so that is Jacksonville and Indianapolis. We both agree Jacksonville is the team there. Here's an interesting game. You have Tampa Bay coming to Minnesota. Um, one of my value plays at quarterback is Baker Mayfield, bro. Baker Mayfield,
Totally agree.
against the Vikings, and I bleed
I
purple.
know.
I mean, look up, there's my hat. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I try to not be biased though, because I keep it
No.
real, kind of like you. We keep it
Yep.
real. You're a Niner
Yep.
fan, but you
Yep.
try to keep it real with your scrub ass Niners. But anyway,
It could be a Raider fan. Super cool.
right? Uh,
But no,
so
I agree with you. Like I think I said something to you last week about like, hey man, just for some reason, like we talked today, like what you have, like for some reason I had a feel. Not saying just because if Baker goes off, it doesn't mean the Vikings are going to lose.
No.
But I think Baker's going to throw at least over 2 touchdowns. I mean, he has two good receivers. He
Yep.
has one that his knee's 100% healthy. They said he looks the best out of anybody in training camp with Chris Godwin.
Yep.
And I know that when we say Baker Mayfield, we get in the back of our head like, oh, we know how squirrely he gets, but I mean, he has 2 targets that are
Yeah.
top 15 receivers, and it's hard to not think about that, And the Vikings defense, we don't know what they're going to be like.
Exactly.
We have no clue.
The Vikings gave up more big plays than any team in the league last year. So if we're just going off that, and that's all we really can, and they had a huge personnel change. They got some young guys in the defensive backfield now. Harrison Smith is still there, but I expect him to, especially even early on in the year, give up some plays. And so Mike Evans is one of the big play guys in the league. He's never had under 1,000 yards in his whole career receiving. That's crazy, bro. So
Crazy.
And like you said, Godwin is looking great. I think Cade Otton, man, is a guy too. He finally is going to have that role, where he's the guy. And let's see what is Otton going for at tight end. He's going for $4,900, bro. If he gets you a touchdown, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? At $4,900.
He's 33 with DraftKings, and
Yeah.
that's low.
Yeah,
that's really low.
Yep.
If Baker starts struggling, he's going to go to the tight end.
Yeah.
He's going to go 5-10 yards out. He's not going to, go deep. But if they even have any kind of running game, I think he's going to be good on Sunday. I think he's going to be a good fantasy play. But he's one of those guys that you're just okay, let's wait on him. But if he goes off and you waited on him, then you're going to be like, oh no, because then you lost your chance.
Exactly.
If he goes off and you waited, you get him like on DraftKings. I think Baker's like 5,000. That's nothing.
That's crazy.
That is nothing. You could stack the best running back and the best receiver on DraftKings if you got him. Honestly.
And
he's 4,900.
Wow, bro.
4,900,
bro. That's what a cheap tight end in FanDuel goes for. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
He's 4,900, so you could get him and put Godwin in there, and you can still get you can still get the top receiver and top running back.
Yeah,
pretty much with the 4,900. That's pretty.
Yeah, and he has great upside.
Great upside.
At that price, you just want 17 to 24 points out of your quarterback. At that price, because you're stacking elsewhere where you get more. Rachaad White is going for $6,400. He's got a lot of hype. He's got a ton of hype about how good he's going to be, this year.
Yep.
And I was high on him last year. He just didn't get enough opportunity with Fournette being there. But I haven't seen much on him this year. But I've heard a lot about him. So we'll see. And the Vikings, they weren't too great against the run. They're like 20th in the league last year against the run, against the running backs. So he should have some opportunity. But this has a potential to be a high-scoring game.
I agree.
But when you flip it over to the Viking side, you just have a high-powered offense there. I mean, you with Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson, and Kirk Cousins isn't your flashy guy, but he just seems to get it done. And then they went out in the first round and got Addison to replace Thielen. Give Jefferson a Robin to his Batman. We'll see. We don't know how great Addison or how good, even if he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good. I'm a big USC fan, and I watched him a lot last year, but we'll see. But I don't think there's many questions about those guys. The big question is Addison. Everyone's asking, I think Addison's going to be, bro, I've watched Addison for years. I think he's going to be fine, bro. But everyone said, oh, well, I don't know,
It's weird because before the draft, they talked about him just a little bit, but now it seems like they're not talking about him at all.
Yeah.
At all. Like, I don't hear nothing. Like, you're a Vikings fan, so you might see on the Vikings, commentary and all that, but it's like you don't see anything. You see it's about Bijan Robinson. It's about the quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson's like Anthony Richardson seems like he's the biggest talk right now. Out of all the rookies, he's the biggest talk.
Yeah.
And it's unreal. It's like he's like the only one. You don't hear nothing about Addison. You don't hear nothing about any other rookie receivers at all.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to surprise everybody. I think JoJo's going to be big. And if Kirk Cousins doesn't go over 300 yards, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see him going for 340, 350 easy. I mean, I'd be surprised.
Yeah. I got him.
Buccaneers are not it.
No,
not it this year.
No, they're not. I got him at 254 yards or something like that on Prize Picks. He's going to blow that out of the water.
Yeah, he's like 264 now. I think he went up to like 264.
Okay. Yeah. And Alexander Madison is 7,300. In this slate on FanDuel, he's RB9. So they have Joe Mixon right above him. But at that price, that's a great price for what you could get out of that. $7,300 is not bad for Madison. And I think this has the potential to be a shootout, but the Vikings historically have had, their opening games. They usually look really good, and they went 0-4 just like they did last year in the preseason. Mm-hmm. And it's because their philosophy, they don't like to play a lot of their starters at all in the preseason. So we'll see. I think they come out on top of this one. It could be a close game though, but I think the Vikings do get it done, and I do think their defense is going to be better than people are saying, because I do like Brian Florence. I think a lot of it is an attitude. You bring an attitude, and that really, you can have less talent, but have the right mentality and get way more out of those guys than all these talented prima donnas that, you know what I'm saying, that are underachieving. Yep. So I like the Vikings in that game. It's not because I'm a Viking fan. I just do. I just like the Vikings. What do you think? Who do you like?
No, I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings all the way. I think it's going to be in the 50s, a combined score.
Yeah.
I think Madison, he's the 13th running back DraftKings, 6,500, so he's a good value there.
Yep.
And I think he's gonna get a touchdown on the ground or in the air.
Yeah.
So I think Vikings are going to handle them pretty good.
I agree.
Once they get on fire, it's a wrap.
Yep.
It's a wrap.
All right, we got.
And that's a bad thing,
Yeah.
If he gets on fire, if the Vikings get on fire, the Baker might crumble. I mean,
that's true.
And that's one bad thing about it. You think about Baker,
Yep. He does get nervous sometimes. When things aren't going right, he makes bad choices. All right, we have Tennessee and New Orleans. What's your take on this game?
Smash mouth.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a smash. Jamal Williams running with the Saints, smashing.
Right.
Like Tennessee had one of the top 5 run defense last year.
Yep.
And then you got Derrick Henry smashing, so it's going to be a smash mouth game. I don't see Carr passing for so much to Tannehill. It's going to be a smash mouth game.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, I agree. I agree. You have Olave, who got a lot of love in the offseason. You have Michael Thomas. I'm kind of curious to see if he can stay healthy and what he is now. What he really is. So, if he's going to be their number 2 behind Olave, that's not bad. Even an older, Michael Thomas. But
in one of my leagues, it's like I think it's the first time that I've ever seen Michael Thomas not get drafted in fantasy football.
Yeah, crazy.
And that's not in all leagues. That's the first time since he's been in the league that he has not been drafted.
Yeah.
And I know some leagues he got drafted, but in 2 of my leagues he was not drafted.
Yeah.
And that's a shocker.
That is. That really is, man. So I like I think I still like the Saints in that game at home against the Titans. Treylon Burks should be available. I did my last year when I did my rookie highlight on him. I called him soft and said he couldn't stay healthy and he's going to get hurt, and he did. And but they're saying that he's looking good, man, with D-Hop, that he's looking real good. So maybe he'll make me eat my words. I'll see. But I still like New Orleans at home. That one. A close game though, like you said. I think it's gonna be a smash mouth close game. I think Jamal's gonna eat though, baby. I think Jamal's gonna eat, boy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we talked. A couple weeks ago it was like Jamal away. Then a couple days ago it's like I don't know Tennessee, but yeah, I think it's gonna. Yeah, I think Jamal's gonna eat for sure. He's gonna. I mean, they're in the dome,
Yeah.
right? They're in New Orleans,
Yep. Yep.
so they're gonna. And he's a good value to take too.
Yep.
He's a great value.
He really is. Let me see what he is real quick before we get off this game. Jamal Williams is 6,800. Yeah, that's a value, and that defense last year was a second against that position, ranked defense. So, and they're still stout. I think that Tennessee, is always they're always gonna come to play. They're hard nosed, smash mouth guys. So it should be a
He's
good one.
50. He's 5,100 in DraftKings.
Wow.
That's a chance to take.
For RB1, he could be RB1 for 3 weeks, bro. I mean, for real,
Easy.
because they just have the rookie behind him.
And he's hurt.
Yeah, he
He's
is
out.
hurt. Yep.
He's out.
So I like Jamal. I have him I think in our league. I don't know if it's in our league I have him, or I do have him on one of my teams. So you might see we're playing each other this week, which is kind of cool. So you might see a little Jamal this week, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
yeah, thanks, Gibbs.
Right?
Dan Campbell was afraid, huh?
Man,
No, it's all good. It's all good.
That take, Dan Campbell was afraid. I don't believe he's afraid, bro. Sean's tripping, man.
I know everybody wants to. I know, but it's the first game. They don't want to get him too much. But
yeah,
there's a lot of talent. That kid, man, when he ran the ball, was like a bowling ball, boy.
It was exciting. Man. It was exciting to watch, bro. He's bouncing off people and spinning, and yeah, man. He's gonna be exciting all year. I think if he stays healthy, that dude, they got something there. Yeah. All right, man. Here's your game right now. It's the Niners and the Steelers, baby. And these are two historic franchises. They have more Super Bowls than anyone. Well, the Patriots. They're top 3. Between Steelers. And the Patriots, and you got the Niners right up there with 5 rings. They're going on the road. What do you think? I heard something today that kind of tripped me out a little bit. Purdy hasn't faced a defense better than rank 13 yet. And they're saying that's why he looked so good last year, because you put him in that Shanahan offense and he hasn't played against nobody. What do you think, bro? Going into Pitt, that narrative just got kicked out the other day. I just heard about it yesterday. What do you think about that, bro?
Well, he played Philly, got hurt. And Philly was what top 5? But Dallas was a top 5 defense. So Dallas was a top 5 defense all year. So
let me rephrase that. He hadn't played a team better than 13 until we got to the playoffs and played Dallas and Philly. Okay, so my bad. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's all good. I mean, you seen him play against Dallas, and he did what he had to do to win the game. But, I mean, once I think Shanahan will have him. If Kittle's playing, I think it's going to be a lot of Kittle. A lot of Kittle up the middle, and a lot of Debo running. I think Debo's going to be running a lot Sunday. I have a little worry. Like I said, you're going to hostile Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Hostile. Boy, the terrible towels are going to be.
Right.
And it's like Purdy, Purdy might get a little shooken up. He got hurt. And we've seen a lot of quarterbacks, Jimmy G come back from injury, just shooken. Derek Carr. From back in the day when he got hurt, he was doing good. He broke his ankle. He got shooken up. So I don't know. It's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be that's going to be another smash mouth game to me too. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be 21-17, 24-21. Something's going to be like just McCaffrey's going to be on that field all game, and it's going to be a tough one. I don't have a lot of. I can see it going bad for the Niners. I really can, but on the offense, But for defense wise, I think we could, get in there. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, having Bosa kind of makes you feel a lot better, right? That's like a security, bro. You got
fresh legs. I mean, he's fresh too. So
yeah.
He hasn't played a preseason game in like 2 years anyway, so it doesn't even matter,
Exactly.
It doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
The guy's a beast. So, it's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a tough game. I don't, Pittsburgh's defense, it's not what it used to be, but it seems like it's getting back. So you got T.J. Watt on the outside also. So
Yep.
I mean, you start hitting Purdy and Purdy gets shaky. That's one thing I'm worried about, with his injury. If he starts getting hit, if he gets a little nervous.
Yeah, when I first saw Purdy, man, I thought, okay, the Niners found their guy. This is their guy, and I knew Trey was going to come back and all that, and rehab, and um, but I really thought they had their guy. And when he got hurt in that Philly game, that was kind of weird. He couldn't throw, and they kept him in the game just to have things like that, and um, but I think his mentality seems fine. To me, I don't think he gets shaken too much. He seems
No.
to handle, the pressure pretty well. So I like Purdy, especially in that system. That system's built to make an average quarterback a great quarterback. I mean, if you have the right mentality, you can really succeed in that system. Debo,
And
go ahead.
I think that's what won him games last year. I mean, you're right. He does have the mentality. His poise, it didn't look like he was shaken at all.
Yep.
And all the games he played, he didn't look shaken.
Yep.
But after an injury, I get a little nervous. Just thinking about it going, because that's a big game, Pittsburgh. That's a big game. But you run the ball and you throw your little hitches and your little screens. I think we'll take it, but it's going to be a tough game. I think Debo needs to step up, show what he did 2 years ago, because he wasn't Debo last year at all.
No, and I don't know why. Because it seemed like they started the season trying to use him the same way, and then they went and just said, "Screw it, let's just go get McCaffrey," And so, but I have faith in Shanahan and his system that they're going to figure out the best way to use Debo this year and get the most out of him. And then he's 7,000 on FanDuel, but Ayuk is making a name for himself, man. At least he's getting a lot of hype, and I think he's a good player. I think Brandon Ayuk is a real good player. He's only 6,600 on FanDuel. But I think with Ayuk and Debo, we know what Purdy and Kittle, they have chemistry already. And if Kittle is Kittle playing? Because I know he was kind of banged up. Let's see.
He's the last I looked, he was questionable. I haven't seen anything else with his.
Yeah, he's still questionable. So, yeah, I don't know.
He's growing.
Yep. If he plays, then that changes things a little bit. But you still got McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell behind him. A healthy Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell's badass, bro. When he's healthy, he's one. When he's healthy, if he played a full season, he could easily be a top 10 back. I mean, he's that good. So to have those two guys in there, the Steelers are going to be tough. That defense is going to be tough. On the other side, you have Kenny Pickett, who looked great in the preseason, but it's preseason. But I think Kenny Pickett, he kind of, he doesn't seem to get too flustered either. He's a young kid. He's going to make mistakes, but he seems to like be a fighter, so I like Kenny Pickett. I love George Pickens, but that Niner defense, bro, and Najee, he's a hometown boy from the Yak, and then they have Warren, and Freiermuth. But I think the Niner defense is going to be a little bit too much. And I think the Niners will get it done. I do. I think they'll get it done. You think they're going to win or what? What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're going to win. But it's one of those games. It could be easily turned around. But yeah, I think they're going to win.
Yeah,
I think they got too much. They have too much in the D line, and if they make Pickett run around, I think we're going to win.
All right.
I think Niners will win that game. Yeah.
Well, let's just shoot these ones down pretty quick here. Let's go on a little rapid fire and just say who we think is going to win or lose or whatever in these next games. Arizona, Washington.
Washington.
That's rude, right?
Washington. I think Dotson's going off. I think I think Jahan Dotson's going off.
Even though McLaurin is back.
I think Dotson's going off.
All right.
I think the number 2 is going off.
I agree with the Washington. They're going to win. I think Robinson's going to have a good game.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to dupe us on Antonio Gibson getting a lot more playing. I think Robinson's the guy there. I just do. And yeah, I agree with you. Washington and that one. In Arizona, to me, they're just tanking to try and get Caleb. So it's whatever with those guys. Houston and Baltimore. Man, I mean, to me, that's another, you can kind of laugh a little bit, but I think the Lamar season is going to begin. And I think Lamar is going to go off this year. And I like what they've done. I like their new O coordinator. And I think you're going to see a whole different type of offensive scheme. And I love me some JK, bro. JK Dobbins is only 6,500 on FanDuel. So I'm going Baltimore all the way on that game.
Yeah, I'm going Baltimore. I agree with JK. I think he'll have a big game. Only thing you got to worry about with that game is if Baltimore goes up a lot,
Yeah.
JK could kind of mess you up on fantasy because he won't be getting as much.
Yeah.
But I think he still will get his. But if Baltimore goes up, then it might screw everybody. But if Houston keeps it close, I can see JK getting some good touches all game.
I agree. And that's where CJ Stroud is. He's with Houston. So, and I do like Dameon Pierce, but I think they're going to be overmatched by Baltimore.
It's going to be tough. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game.
Yep. Green Bay and Chicago. It's a North rivalry game. You know, they're in Chicago.
If you would have asked me this morning, I would have said Green Bay, but now I'm saying Chicago. Christian Watson's out.
Yep, he is.
So you got pretty much a rookie quarterback. I know he's not, but pretty much he is. Just like we talked about with Desmond Ridder.
Yep.
I think Chicago's going to get him. I think Chicago's going to be too much firepower. I think Fields and stuff. I don't see Love being on the field that much with Watson out. I mean, you got Romeo Dobbs that's questionable, almost doubtful, and you got Aaron Jones, old man Aaron Jones, just not. He don't do it for me no more. Aaron Jones is not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Show me this Sunday if just for some reason he's not with Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have that. I don't know. They're going to pass a lot to Aaron Jones, though. I mean, this could be a big game for him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If Watson's out and the tight end Musgrave, but I say Chicago. I like Commit's going to get some and DJ Moore.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about DJ Moore.
I think Chicago. Yeah, we'll see about DJ Moore. But I like Chicago.
I do too. I'm with you on that, and everything you said, I'm down with. Especially the part where you said Aaron Jones could have a big game. They could still get blown out or beat pretty bad, and Aaron Jones still. Let's see what his value is. If you're looking for a running back, $7,200. The Bears were 31st against the run last year, so he could really have a good game at $7,200 if you build your team right. That's affordable, if you're looking. But I think there's a lot more options out there than Aaron Jones.
He's 6,300 on DraftKings. Yeah, there's Jamal Williams behind him. There's Rashad White.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see Jones having a big reception game.
Yeah,
a big receiving game for sure. But
I agree.
Other than that, I take Chicago.
Yeah, Aaron Jones might be good in redraft leagues this week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To give his managers a good game. Raiders Broncos is another rivalry game. They're in Denver. The new look Denver Broncos with Sean Payton came in talking shit. I mean, just talking shit about the old coach there. Just stirring the pot. That's I guess what Sean Payton does. He's got the old man. Throwing the ball for him, and that's why I call him now, bro, because last year he just looked bad. I'm hoping there's a resurgence in Russ this year. I'm hoping he looks better this year. And I'm going Denver, man. I just think, bro, I just don't know, bro. I don't trust, Michael, McDaniels. Yeah, bro. I thought he was going to do good last year for the Raiders. They had a great team offensively. I mean, they had Waller, Adams, Carr and Adams, that whole chemistry thing. Josh Jacobs, the best, he turned out to be one of the best running backs in the league, and they still couldn't finish above 500. I mean, Raiders defense isn't bad either. They have some studs on that defensive side, man. And it's just like,
Well, Chandler Jones is he's out. They're sitting him home. They're having off field problems. They're having problems with him right now, and they're sitting him home. They just announced today. So now,
wow.
I mean, that was a line that him and Max Crosby and then the new kid Tyree Wilson.
Yep.
But now Chandler's out. So I still think the Raiders might do it.
You like the Raiders?
I think the Raiders might do it this game. I think you'll see a different Denver team than last year. But just with Judy out and I mean, they have Marvin Mims Jr. I think Marvin Mims is going to look good and stuff. But I just think the Raiders might squeeze one out this game. I just have a feeling about Jimmy G. I know he's not really he's going to win a game for you.
Yeah.
But he'll put you in the position to win the game.
No, I agree with that. I do like Denver in that game. You like the Raiders. But, yeah, I do agree with what you said for sure.
I do like Javonte Williams, though. I think Javonte's going for 100.
I hope so.
I think Javonte Williams is going for 100 yards. They say it's going to be a big day for him. He don't really have, I think he's going to have a big game against the Raiders.
Yeah, I hope so. Game. I have him in one of my redrafts. I don't know if it's against you or it's in my other league, but yeah, I hope he does well. Philly and New England.
Philly.
Yeah, bro. Philly. I mean, they have studs everywhere on that offense. On their defense, they lost a lot this year, but that offense is ready to just show out, I think. And New England's defense is okay. It's not a bad defense at all, but I think they're going to be overmatched by Philly. And I don't think New England has enough offense to just hang with them, period.
I think Philly's line. I think Hassan Reddick's going to be on Mac Jones all the game.
Yep.
And it's going to be a tough time. I think the only way, if Belichick plays the screen game all day, just him and Stevenson, Mac and Stevenson, that's the only way I could see it, and then run with Zeke. But I don't see Philly. There's no way.
Hey, man.
I think Mac Jones could be on his back all game.
Maybe Juju will have a great, maybe he'll find his Juju, his mojo or whatever back in. Receivers don't go to New England to get better unless your name is Moss. That's about it. They had their run with Weckler and Wes Welker and Edelman and Moss, but after that they haven't really turned anyone out, any receivers out. So yeah, I'm with you, Philly, all the way. One of the highest scoring games of the week could be the next one on the slate. Miami and LA, man. I can't wait to watch that game.
That's a fantasy dream right there. Both sides of the ball, like everything that you listen to or read or even look at their stats. I don't think you could go wrong with any stack you have there. You could stack Tua with two receivers.
Yep, easy.
And a receiver from San Diego or from LA
and run it back.
And run it back. You could have 4 players from both teams on that, But I'm going to run with the Chargers. Playing in LA, I think the thing is, nobody's given the Chargers defense any credit. Last year they came in top 5. They had some injuries with J.C. Jackson and Bosa and all that, but I think this year they're going to. I'm not saying they're going to hold Waddle and them down, but I think the Chargers are going to end up winning this game. I think it'll be a little too much.
It's a tough one for me to pick, bro, to be honest with you. I do like the Chargers. I like their offense, Eckler and Keenan Allen. When he's healthy, he's always good. And Herbert. But man, for some reason, Miami, they're one of those feisty defenses too that can give you a 20-point fantasy week on DFS on DraftKings or FanDuel.
Is Ramsey still out? That's my question to you.
Jalen Ramsey is still out. Yep. So, but Man,
It's a coin flip, man.
it's close, man. It's close. Even
Yeah.
Vegas has it close. Uh, so dang, bro. So you're going
Uh,
L.A. Okay, I'm gonna go Miami. Just so
I'm,
we'll go opposite on this one, right?
I'm going
Okay,
with the hometown team. So you're picking this. So on a Tuesday on Tuesday we'll see what we picked, right?
right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think we could either one of us could go wrong. That's gonna be a fun game.
No,
Either way, it's gonna be a fun game.
I'm taking the home team. I'm taking the home team.
All
So
right.
that's what I'm running with. I'm not
Yeah.
Miami can win that game and be like, hey, but I'm taking the home team.
Yep.
I'm gonna I'm
All
gonna go
right.
with that.
Well, now you have the other LA team, which,
Oh,
bro, I don't know what to think about this team. Let's see how great McVay is. He's had a whole year. Well, he thought he was going to have Cooper Cup. So Cup's not there for we don't know how long yet. Hopefully, it's not too long. Hopefully, they figure this out. Um, but that opens up Higbee, I think, is their next receiver. I I, I
yeah.
mean, no one's excited worried about Van Jefferson. I like Skoranek. Skoranek could have a decent game, you know.
Mhm.
And then Cam Akers could have a good game. He started looking good last year towards the second half of the season when he after that whole thing they were going to get rid of him and then he ended up staying and so um but then on the other side you got Seattle with they get Seattle. Their offense looks good too, but what about
Yeah.
their defense? But they don't have to have much defense unless McVay is
The,
dialing it up.
I know the Russian defense wasn't as strong. They're as their passing defense. Their passing defense was a lot stronger than the running defense.
Yeah,
But they were 30th in the league last year, stopping the run. So I think Cam is going to have a good time. But their safeties and their cornerbacks, they got some good young talent in the back. So I don't think I don't see Stafford having a big game. Like you said, Higbee's
it.
pretty much it. And I think Seattle's going to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I take Seattle at home with the 12th man and all that, and but there are some values in this game.
Yes.
Really, some fantasy values. You got Cam Akers at $6,600. That's a great value. I think like with what you said, he could have a real big game or a good game. You said they were 30th against that position,
Against the run.
and then at tight end, let's see, Higbee is 5,300, and they were Seattle was 32nd. They were last against the tight end, and Higbee's probably going to get a lot of play, man. He's probably going to get a lot of play. So those are two really, really big values. They said uh, JSN is going to be available, which
Mm-hmm.
he just broke his wrist, but is a hairline, but still. Uh, so we'll see what he gets. Gino. We'll see if Gino's for real. Last year was it a fluke? Is he real? I think he's real, man. I think he's a vet now. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But I like Seattle too in that game, and I like those values.
Yeah,
I may
yeah. Rams defense aren't the same, and
no.
I think Seattle's going to have a way with them.
Yep. I mean,
I
we
think it's
didn't
going to
we
be
didn't
big.
even mention Walker the third, and
No, Kenneth
you
Walker's
know,
going to go. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Go off. I think Seattle's
DK
going to have
and
a fantasy. Yeah, there's going to be a fantasy value for sure on the Seattle side.
yeah, I agree. Um, we're down to our last two games. So the Sunday night game is Dallas and the Giants. I love that Dallas defense. Last year, I just loved until they played the Vikings, and I hated them. But they're they're mean, man. That defense is dirty. Micah
Mhm.
Parsons is dirty, and um, I like that offense too. I like Brandon Cooks coming over. I like
Yeah,
that. I love Pollard. I think Dak is a good enough quarterback still. Now he has, Ferguson at the tight end. We'll see what he's made of. We'll see. I think he's been slept on a lot. All he needs is one or two good games, and he'll be he'll be the first pick off the waiver wire because you get a
hmm
tight end that could do anything in fantasy. Everyone wants a tight end.
big time. Oh yeah,
And
for
on the
sure.
other side, you got Daniel Jones and those guys. You got it's basically what Jones, Waller, and Barkley. You know, I
Yeah,
like
they
I like
they
Higgins or Hodgins though, bro. Isaiah Hodgins, I like him. So
Hodgins good player.
yeah,
Slayton's still hanging around.
yeah.
I don't see, but Robinson. I don't know if Rondell Robinson is playing. I don't know if he's back yet for sure. I haven't really seen,
Oh
but
yeah, Wandell. I'm not sure. I thought the last I saw he was not. Let me see
but they
about that
just came out today and said Waller's hamstring. He's questionable now, so
already.
he's yeah, so he might not even. And that was his problem with the Raiders. He couldn't stay on the field the last 2 years, and
Yep.
they're paying him big money, and But I think Daniel Jones is gonna. I think he's gonna run around and get that defense shooken up. But it's it's in New York, and the only reason I'm gonna say this is because they're in New York. I think Giants gonna win this game. That's Dak Prescott. He hasn't showed anybody he could do anything in a big game, so I'm going
Hmm.
with the Giants.
Yeah, I'll go opposite. I'll go Dallas.
Yeah,
I think Dak and Pollard and CeeDee Lamb. I just think they have too much firepower, and I think their defense is just so dirty. But I do see Daniel Jones. Um, he could have a good game running the ball. He just doesn't have many weapons to throw it to when you think,
no,
and we'll see what Barkley does, Saquon. So we split on that one, Dallas and the Giants. And then the last game on the slate is the Monday night game. I guess the world wants to see Aaron Rodgers in that, you know, Jets uniform. I could care less, bro. I've seen enough Aaron Rodgers. Good. Get the hell out of the North, man.
yeah, get out. I mean, I think 99.9% of the world of of the football family they want Aaron Rodgers. They want the Jets to win that game, but
They do.
I don't think it's gonna. I honestly think I don't. I mean, I know the Jets. Their defense is
You know all
okay.
about that defense, brother.
Their
You, of all
defense,
people, know about that defense.
yeah, their defense ain't there yet, but that defense could be the scariest defense in the league.
Yeah, because
That
Salah,
defense could. That defense could be the scariest defense of the league this year. But I, I think because the Jets got Buffalo last year, one game, and
yeah,
I think Buffalo's going to win the first game. Buffalo, I think Buffalo's going to win the first game. I think Josh Allen's just he has to on a big stage like that. I think it's going to be a good game. It's hard. This game is the hardest game to pick out of. To be honest, it's harder than the LA and the Miami game, but it's in where's this game at?
in New York.
New York.
Yep.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
So you got New York, you got the Jets, you got Aaron Rodgers, the
I'm
old
going with
man.
Buffalo.
You going with
I'm going Buffalo.
all
I'm
that,
going
and
with
you going with
Buffalo.
Buffalo?
I'm going with Buffalo. Well, just because you know what, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, when now all of a sudden he's going to be look look like he's 20 again. Last year he looked like he's running in the mud.
Yeah,
I mean, I get that he's with a new team, and he's been totally different with this team. He's helped everybody out. He's been on page with everybody,
that's cool.
and I mean, you got the best. The rookie of the year, both rookies of the year,
Yeah,
but the rookie of the year on offense with the quarterback.
yep,
And yeah, I think they go up, but I think Buffalo's going to get him. I'm not saying Jets are going to be bad, but I think Buffalo's going to get him the first game.
yeah, I agree. I think Buffalo. There's no way they lose this game. And Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers and Dalvin Cook, Brees Hall. We'll see what Brees looks like. I'm excited for Brees, man. I like Brees Hall. I felt bad when he tore his ACL last year, but yeah, I think Buffalo too has one of those chips on their shoulders. They lost at home in a playoff game that you know uh Cincinnati was just ready for him. They're just like, yeah, last time we were going to beat you last time, but we all know what happened there, so we're going to whoop your ass this time in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo has something to prove to the world and to
Yeah,
themselves. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I'm
I
excited to see
agree.
what James Cook does, bro.
Me
You
too.
know,
Me too.
so Yeah, it should
I
be a
think
good
it's good.
game.
Yeah. I think. Well, me and you talk about this man too. I want to see Kincaid, man. Like I'm excited to see Dalton Kincaid.
Me too.
I am excited to see that big
Yeah.
time. How
Yeah.
they're going to use him because that guy, it, with the way the defense is supposed to be for the Jets, but if you have Kincaid on fire, then you're going to have Gabe Davis up in the middle by himself. If you're going to cover Kincaid,
Yep.
it's going to be a great game. I mean, you got a Sunday night game and a Monday night game. That's two great games.
Yeah, I
Two great
agree.
games.
Yeah, they did good with the scheduling on this for
Yes, they
sure.
did. For sure.
So, hey, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm Lonnie. He's Jake, and we will catch you on the next one.